right, welcome everybody to episode 21 of the Content Lab podcast. This week's going to be a little bit different. We're preparing for the CrossFit Games that everybody that's going to be on the pod right now are going to be there next week. So today's day one. I'm going to call it 22.1. Why not? Everybody in the CrossFit community understands that term. So today we have the games prep episode. We have Mr. Eric Castaños, Steven Stover, Fury, Renato Macassi, and Carly Johnson, also known as Carly Creative. How's everybody doing?
Chilling.
Wait,
Yeah.
Carly had a last name.
All right. So I was thinking about starting the pod, just going one by one and just kind of introducing yourself and telling everybody who you're going to be shooting for at the games, starting with Mr. Castaños.
What up, everybody? My name's Eric Castaños, and I'll be at the games shooting for Matt Fraser and HWPO training.
All right. Stover?
Should we say our athletes too?
Yeah, sure. You can mention like your athletes and what you're
bet.
main thing you're going to be focusing on, if it's photo or video or whatever.
Okay, cool. No, that makes sense. Yeah, so I'll be at the games shooting for HWPO training, and I'll be focusing on Mal O'Brien, Jason Hopper, and primarily doing photo.
Stover?
What up? I just found out last night that we're going, which is rad. A little last minute, but yeah, I'm gonna be there shooting. I work for RPM, so I'm gonna be shooting for them, and we're gonna be, we're just gonna be creating all the content we can, trying to focus on Adler and Ariel Lowen as our main athletes that are competing, and then I'm just gonna be wandering around messing with people and creating all the content I can, so watch out.
Nice. Miss Carly?
Yeah, I'm Carly.
Carly Creative.
Yeah, I'm shooting for Tia, of course, on the proven squad. So like Brooke, Saxon, Will, Cole Grace Shaver, Nick Matthew, a few Masters athletes. And yeah, it's my squad.
Fury?
And Renato is my official government name that no one knows me from. But I'll be primarily for Innovate, which is Danny Spiegel, Carl Saunders, Spencer Panchik, and Dallin Pepper. So those four are my main ones. I'll probably be doing a little bit of, or mainly photo, but then like a couple simple reels here and there,
Awesome. Let's see. We have Imam here. I'm just going to be photographing all of you sexy humans.
Yo.
Totally.
And Mohawk.
Totally Chapman. Awesome. So yeah, thank you guys for doing this. I got some messages in the past couple of days saying like, yo, you should, a lot of people that haven't been to the games and are going to be to the games this year for the first time. We're asking a bunch of questions, and two people recommended like, yo, or I guess they suggested you should do an episode with some people that have been there before and can talk about it.
Question for the group. Sorry, Carlos.
Thanks for interrupting.
So if anybody doesn't know, I actually only have 5 questions that I'm allowed to ask the group per podcast.
This is the first one.
And this is my strike one. Quick question for the group. How many for each one of you guys? How many years, what year is this for you guys going to the games? Just so people know for context. 2, we got 2s.
This is my third.
This will be my third.
Yo, Stover's got us, bro. 4.
Yeah,
Stover, this is your fourth. Stover went to the games at the range, the one that nobody was invited. He was there.
Tell us about that, dude. How was that?
So Stover actually told me, hey, you can come with me. I got the good to go that you can come, and I said no to it.
Wow, dude.
You said no.
I said no to it.
Yo, why did you say no?
I was gonna go to the range.
It wasn't. Let me just preface this.
Yeah,
I was not there in a good capacity in terms of like I wasn't there as a photographer or anything like that. I was there because I knew someone on broadcast and they needed a runner, and I was like, dude, yeah. I mean, that's like an hour and a half for me. So I was like, dude, absolutely, I'll go there, and I would have done it for free, and I actually got paid. Whatever, that was cool. But I didn't have anything to do, and it was kind of something I fell into, and I'm forever grateful for the actual photographers there that let me like have fun. But they weren't there yet on the day where they were testing the workouts before the competition actually started. And Dave Castro saw me with a camera and called me over and asked me to take pictures of the demo team, and I was like, sure. Not supposed to be here in that capacity, but whatever. And then I met everyone, and they were super cool, and they asked me if I wanted to just take photos here and there and give them to them. And yeah, I literally fell into that, but I was not supposed to be there as a photographer. I was there just as a card runner.
So a couple of weeks before Stover is like, yo, if you wanna come help me with the broadcasting crew, I mean the pay, I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't something, very good.
For
And
you,
I was,
yeah.
I
To
was
fly
like,
across the country.
I was like, gosh, I want to be there as a photographer or to do some video. I don't want to be like running cables on the broadcasting team. So I ended up, and I had some gigs already planned for that week. So I told Stover no. And then whenever I see him there, just taking photos, and I was like, I was very
Right place at the
jealous.
right time.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah. So let's talk about the prep. I think probably Carly and Eric are the ones that are the most busy out of all of us, because obviously you're in charge of getting ready for a whole crew. Probably Carly more than anybody else. She's the main media person. Or what's your title? Media director for Proven?
Probably
Yeah, like creative director, media.
Creative director. Yeah. So I know that you've been super busy. So tell me about your prep leading up to the games.
Ooh, yeah, it started a few months ago, honestly. I guess, like, what do you mean? Like, just
just like in the last 2 weeks, like what you've been like preparing to the games, like if they already told you some assignments, like, hey, these are the people you're gonna be shooting. Focus, like what's the focus if you have anything planned for the week?
Yeah, I think leading up to the games, our biggest goal was to tell kind of the year in review stories of each athlete. And so like how their season went and the challenges. Obviously, Brooke had an incredible year of a comeback, and each athlete kind of had some ups and downs throughout the year. So we really wanted to tell that as much as we can. Proven's really focused right now on just making sure that people know the true athlete and not just like hype videos around what they can do, but just like who they are as people too. So that's been a big push leading up to the games. As we like head right into the games, like I have most everything scheduled out that I need to have scheduled out. But other than that, it's been a lot of just telling each of the athletes' stories. So it's been cool. We actually had Nick Matthew like now make it to the games because of what happened with Phil Toon, and so that was really cool to see. I've known him for years, so having a Minnesota guy in Madison is going to be a good time. So, yeah, it's just been a lot of scheduling, a lot of planning, a lot of design, a lot of time in the gym. But I'm very organized, and I like it that way. So it's been fine for me, just a lot of hours. So, yeah.
From 1 to 10, how stressed out are you right now?
Oh, I'm chilling right now. I'm big chilling. But this past week I was like 10, 11, and now I'm like, all right, we got it. So
Harley, just for people's like, this is my number 2. Damn, I'm already like 10 minutes in. I'm already going on my questions. For you, so people understand, like when you say like creative director, and I feel like I know this, but not fully. So this is also why I'm asking. So I feel like all of us here know that you also design.
Yeah.
And then, so you do the design, you do the photos for Proven and such. Do you have like involvement with the creative direction and as far as like the videos go? Because you're talking about you guys do a really good job as far as like telling what you were saying, like telling the stories of the athletes, and it's really cool. How much involvement do you have? Like, because I think that's really cool for people to know, because there's differences with all of our involvement in the space and the brands that we shoot. Like for you, you're like the heart and soul of Proven. So it's like on that front, like what are some things as far as like preparation do you prepare as far as like when you're going to the games, is there sort of any sort of storyline that you keep in mind of? And also, so two-parter, is there a storyline that you keep in mind of, or things to keep in front of mind while you're out on the floor preparing for the games? And also, how much involvement do you have with preparing those storylines for like the videos that you guys put out as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. For the videos that we put out, like I'm in charge of all of the ideas behind the videos. So like I essentially create a video team schedule, and I release that to our video team. And then anytime that they have feedback about, like, I'll note specific things if I need it there or whatnot. But the videos actually of Saxon, like those games lead up, I gave Brandon some things that like I wanted to see, like in an email and whatnot. But honestly, Brandon does the best if he just has full creative freedom. Like he's incredible at what he does, and I don't want to step on that at all. And so, with him especially, I'm like, hey, run with it. With Cole, he's a newer videographer on our team. Like I'm a lot more involved with his video work. And I'm constantly giving him like feedback or ideas that I want to see. In regards to the games, honestly, like, we're trying to tell stories throughout it. But I wouldn't say that, like, I really try to let like our video crew do what they do best. So like I'll ask for like shorter clips for like one day, or like, hey, make sure to get Tia's finish on this event or whatnot. But other than that, I'm like, run with it. Like you're talented, you're creative. Like I don't want people harnessing what I can.
I think she cut off.
She was on a roll, bro.
Oh my God. Do you see that? How can we block this question? Block user. There you go.
Bro, we're
starting getting a bunch of weird questions. Yeah, I guess Carla's going to be back. But hey, those were good questions, Eric. That's about 10 questions already. So you're timeout. Nah, just kidding. So how about for you? That's a good question. Oh, Carla, you're back.
Oh, that was me?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you spazzed. Glitch in the sim.
Okay.
That was cool. No, I mean, I don't. Where did you cut off? You cut off like right about when you were talking about the videographers on the floor, essentially, and you were saying how you essentially you hire them for a reason, like that you trust them creatively.
Yeah, and like, is that similar to what you ask for as well, like with your squad?
I was about to ask.
With AWPO?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like so this last year, for the first year we were back with Matt, and it was like his comeback. Just being oh, look at the boy. What's up, Bob?
Say hi, Logan.
Wicked name. Yeah, so like our preparation like involves like last year was much different than how we have going on this year, because obviously last year was Matt came and it was all about documenting his return as a spectator. So documenting that the best way that we could, and it was really fun on our end. And obviously this year is the first. Oh, and we had Jason, so it was like and then we had Jason, so we were documenting him. But this year is heavy for us. Also, we have Jason, and then we have a Masters athlete, Dudevoir. But then the obvious story of Mal O'Brien being a first year under us, and then documenting that. But as far as like last year, we had Vicky, and he documented everything. And he's like, and to your point, Carly, like a huge part of what we do is, especially as like from this creative director role, is like hiring people that you trust and that can just do their thing, because the less amount of direction, the better. You hired them for a reason. It's like, for myself, like for HWPO, like I was fortunate enough to help build the brand visually. So my notes are very like depending on where we're at, like my notes are pretty minimal, especially with somebody with like Vicky. But then on the other side, we have people helping us on different content means, as far as like we're hosting community workouts at Big Dane. So I'm involved there creatively. Like I had prepared and creating assets and some videos for them, just to show them kind of like a template, like, hey, something like this, just to highlight the things that we're doing over there. So kind of two things going on. But for as far as on the video front with Vicky on the floor, like he's so good at what he does, and we handpicked him for that reason, to be able to do what he does and be involved. And he follows the sport so closely that he's so good at that, and I know he's gonna do a good job. And for myself, it's just being attuned to those things and understanding the stuff that Mal's worked on. Well, all of our athletes, the things that they've worked on, and we're on the same page from here, is making sure that we're there and present, and making sure we're where we need to be.
Yeah. So similar, but a little different. But no, pretty similar. That's
pretty similar. Yeah. I didn't realize that until this part, like how much involvement you had with Proven in that sense. Like, because if people follow your personal, they know that you do a bunch of different stuff. But I was curious, and I'm glad I asked, like how much involvement you had, because everybody's positions are different, especially from Carlos. But I would love to hear from the other two guys, like how you guys go about your preparation and with clients and such.
Before we get into that,
sorry, that's 3.
Jordan has a question: how far in advance we learn about where everything's happening, locations? Stover and Fury, if you want to answer.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know jack shit.
No, I don't know anything. I think Harley may know.
I never know. I just wing it the whole time.
Literally, like I find out, all right, where's WOD 1? Okay. And then I ask whoever's there what the workout is, or I look on Instagram. That's how
it's literally very it's very on the spot. Luckily, working with Mayhem, we have Jen Friedlacher that she's a freaking rock star. She's always on top of like our schedule. So literally whenever she gets the news, like, hey, you have to be on I don't know, at the Coliseum at 6 p.m. and then after we're done, like literally after every heat, she's like, next heat we have lane 3, 5, and 8. And then after the event is done, she's like, next event it's at 8 p.m. blah blah. So she's always on top of everything. So I mean, on my end, it's pretty easy to like don't miss anything. But
that's nice.
Yeah, at the same time, that's kind of like for Carly probably, and for you too, Eric. It's probably like that's your job just to be.
Yeah, well, Carly more. I have a Sammy, which is nice.
Oh yeah, you have Sammy. True.
Yeah, she's.
Hey, we have
fearless leader,
Bruce William, which is Ball Media. Good looking crew. See you soon.
Yeah, I like that.
We have another question from Teddy Williams. He says, "What are a couple of the biggest things from the signed media agreement creators must know so they don't break the rules?" Video footage, limited base. So that's a good question. At the same time, it's kind of like the contract. I believe it says that we cannot post more than, I think it's like 20 photos maybe for the whole weekend.
Yeah, I think it's it used to be. I think like last year. I mean, number one, I'm gonna be like snarky as I normally am, but you can just read it and it'll tell you. But well,
but I'm guessing Teddy doesn't have or
no, that was for Teddy. That was
bro.
No, that was for Teddy. No, but either way, like I know, like last year they're like, oh, we're gonna increase the amount, and they said, oh, you can post no more than 30 photos total.
Yep.
Now, I mean, there's plenty of people that did more than that. Now, I personally, I think I just stayed within the lines, right? I mean, I post like once a day, so 30 photos would take me 6 weeks. Like that would take me so long.
And this is on the feed.
I think this is on feed.
And like your own personal.
If you're posting 30 photos a weekend, you're getting unfollowed.
Well, there's people that definitely break the rules and they post a lot more than. But I don't think anybody enforces that. I don't know if this year is gonna be different. But I remember that being said, and for video, I think it's even more. It's like 15 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
I remember last year
like a reel anyway. So I mean, unless you're doing long form.
But last year was weird with video. When I was with Morning Chalk Up, it was like, how are we going to do anything? But I think what it was supposed to be 15 consecutive seconds of anything, I think was what we figured out. I don't know if it's different this year. I haven't looked. But
it's not 16. It's not 15 seconds. It's like each post can be tops like 15 seconds.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Dude, I don't know why. I mean, but I really don't think they're just gonna like make sure you're looking at your post and then start counting and set a timer. You know, I think they just don't want it to be like super long form.
I'm getting spam.
They use whatever story that you're
providing. Block. There you go.
They do.
I think like the squad last year at least was really cool about like a ton of us said something, I think in Discord or whatever, and they like addressed it the next day and was like, oh yeah, we extended like the photo count and the amount of seconds that you can capture on video or whatever. So like thankfully like they want to see you win, I think. But
yeah, it felt like last year they were like they listened because a lot of it was like everyone was complaining about it, and I think it was just more like a guideline so that people weren't going crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, I think it's pretty reasonable. Like,
were any of you guys there prior? Were any of you guys shooting prior to like when they opened the gates for CrossFit? Like when they let anybody come in? I think it was like 2018, 2019 was when
2019 was the first year, because that was the first year that I went, is where they kind of had press, right? Like outside press.
Okay, so all of us are 2019ers?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, I think
we should start a yearbook.
I know, right?
Yeah. I know Ginny. I know she's been on your show before, but Ginny was one of the people that were.
We need an OG
on the team prior, at least from what I remember. So.
Yeah, I just sent the link Eric. to Eric, Dr. Eric Greenhalgh. Maybe he can join us.
Greenhalgh.
Oh yeah, he'll talk about
Oh, I need to get Jeannie here too eventually.
But
Well, yeah,
thing,
but I think I'm gonna try to do this like at night after like competitions, and we can have different people. Like for example, here we have the fittest photographer, Dylan Shoemaker. So maybe we can have Dylan one of those nights. You'll receive clarification.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Good
Like
point.
if there's a
Yeah.
Discord where like you can literally either ask and someone is going to answer it, or you could probably find, the people that approved your meter credential. They're walking around all the time. If you find them, you can just pull them and say, hey, look, in this situation, is this possible? And they'll usually just give you an answer right there.
Absolutely. When are you guys getting there?
Oh, Tuesday.
All right, get there Sunday. I'm stoked. Stover, how about you?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
you're going straight into the pit.
Dude, we planned this. There's a lot behind it, but we planned this pretty last minute, so that's pretty much all we could do. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm just gonna miss some of the first day, but that's all right.
Has
Eric,
there
how
been
about
any?
you?
What was that?
How about you?
I get it on Sunday.
Oh shit! Look,
And then we start hosting workouts like
Quick.
the next
Oh,
day.
there he is.
Imam, there he is. Dude, freshly mohawk.
Look at that.
Like
Look at it.
Look at
Woo!
that.
All right, we have
There he is, dude.
for people
I just got done
people
working
are
out, so I like, hold on.
for people are listening. We need to introduce him first. We have Eric Greenhalgh,
There we
also
go.
known as @Imam Photo. So Eric, if you can tell everybody what was the first question? Oh yeah, who you're shooting for at the games?
I am shooting for Concept 2, and I am also shooting for Dave's Instagram feed again.
There we go.
That
He's
has
back.
just become official. So
Yeah.
that
Oh,
one,
shit.
that
Right
one we've
now.
been waiting on for a long time now. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, it's
Right,
gonna
so-
happen, so.
Castaños had a question for you because you're the only one out of all of us that have shot the games before 2019.
Yeah.
What has been some of like your favorite things, like shooting the games now opposed to prior to that whole 2018 switch? Or not favorite things, but what are some of those things that have changed and possibly for our benefit as the ones that are documenting it?
I think the biggest thing that I see is just be aware of like where you're at compared to others, especially when people are new. There's like this feeling inside, and I remember having it my first time too. It's like if I'm not running around everywhere, I'm gonna miss every shot, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're kind of, it's like overkill a little bit instead of just like trusting your instincts a little bit, or maybe thinking about a concept you want to shoot and then just like sticking with it. That would be my biggest advice: is don't get too crazy about trying to be everywhere, because then you just end up being in either somebody else's way or whatever. And I mean, all of us are just trying to do our best to get what we need. So obviously be polite, like we can fit a lot. You guys have all seen it, like on the end zone or whatever. Like there's a lot of people all squished in one little space. But I think if you're respectful and you realize that all of us are just trying to do our best to get content and be polite, that's one thing I remember from my first time. And then, ever since then is there's always space, there's always time. And if you're just, polite, I've even had times where like I really wanted to capture one thing and somebody else was standing where I wanted to be. And I just ask them like, hey, can I get one shot where you're at or whatever? And most of the time they're perfectly happy to say, yeah, sure. Like, I'll scoot over 8 inches because that's all you need, to get your lens in there. But I would say from the perspective of especially somebody new, definitely just be patient and then be considerate of other people.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it can get hectic out there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Or you
Make
could
sure
just
you have a ton of batteries charged and a bunch of extra SD cards.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yo, do you guys take snacks?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna talk about that. Like, do you guys have time
that the
to
fourth
eat
question?
between events?
What are your guys' go-to snacks on the floor?
Just whatever,
bars,
whatever,
man.
Whatever.
protein, whatever protein
Whatever's
bars
in the
available.
cooler
Bro,
that no
come
one
on. I
freaking
need deeds.
puts
Is
their
it
hand in.
Reese's? Is it Snickers? What are we talking?
I honestly
Could be.
don't eat the
Yeah,
whole
me
day.
Carly,
Yeah,
Carly
that's
does
if-
her
yeah.
7-day fast of the year.
You guys, I get so shredded during the games. It's ridiculous. Like me on
Do you
the
pass
first
out at
day
all?
for the heck no. I don't pass
Professional.
out.
Wait
I
until
have
it's
a
in
lot of
like.
that.
sugar and coffee.
Wait until they move it to the south.
Oh, man.
Like if like
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Oh no.
like 5 years ago, it was what was it 5 years ago? That they changed it to Madison, but before it was in Carson. Apparently the heat was terrible. Eric, were you at Carson any year?
I didn't photograph at Carson, but I went to the last games in Carson just as a spectator, just to meet some people. And I mean, that last year, it was like if you couldn't find shade, it was pretty brutal. That last year, it's pretty rough.
Yep.
I mean, it
For sure.
definitely ain't cool.
It's
in
funny
Madison.
that Carly says she gets shredded by the end of the games because I'm the exact opposite. I end up eating like
Same.
so crappy and like whatever's available and like 20,000 fit
Yeah.
aids later, and like I get home and I'm just like a blob, and I'm
Just,
like,
like,
okay, now I
bloated.
got to detox and like work out 27 times a day for a week so I can get back to normal.
I know
I'll
we're
eat
gonna
like
catch
a
Carly
giant
on an IV
breakfast,
drip.
and then that'll just hold me over for the entire day, and then just live off fit aids, right? Because they're all like, "Here's a free fit aid," and I'm like,
So your
Say
pee
less.
is straight up fit aid color by then.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
if it's not, you're not doing the games right.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's
"No,
for sure.
Alex, no."
Fury
Everybody
Cat
else
Park.
Are you gonna bring the signature Fury hat to the
It
game?
has
have
to come,
to.
man. I'm not gonna get my neck burnt for a freaking 5 days straight.
Yo, I love that you do
Sunscreen.
That.
I
That
had
is
the
my number one
sunscreen
thing.
right here, like that's gonna get
That's
roasted
it?
for sure.
You got to be really accurate with that.
So
Yeah.
this question is for each of you guys. What's your like your main task for when it comes to deliver like photos or videos? Like, do you guys have to edit at night and deliver like a gallery at the end of every day, or it's kind of like just a couple of selects and at the end after the week is done, you edit like a full gallery and send it out?
Great question.
Who's going first?
At least for me, right? Like I'll have a folder for all of my athletes. What I'll try to do is obviously depending on how much break we have in between each event. I'll kind of set up my computer, kind of pick like my favorite ones from each athlete. They'll pretty much have a link, and normally, I mean, there's a lot of athletes that like posting after each event or after each day. So by the end of each day, they have something. Reels would obviously be something that would be later on in the day, but kind of what you were saying, at the end of the week becomes everything, but at least they'll have something by the end of each day to kind of play with if they chose to post something.
How about for you, Carly, since you're the only one, the proven photography team?
Yeah, I basically just give them all content as I get it. I make a mass folder for all of them, except for Tia. I individually send her selects that I think she'd want to post to her. Like I'll text them to her. And yeah,
White glove
so
service.
what?
White glove service.
Absolutely, it's Tia Claire. But yeah, I would say like as fast as I can get them out. Each event, I would say each athlete has at least 10 to 15 photos to choose from. So they have like a lot to go. And I have a smaller amount of athletes than say like you, Carlos, or so I can really try to like refine which picks I want to give them. So.
Stower, are you doing mostly video this year?
Doing both.
Both?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. But
How
I mean,
about-
for me,
Wicked,
my
bro.
Yeah, for you.
my situation is gonna be a little bit different this year, just considering
what
now that I
type
work
of-
for RPM. What's up?
Sorry, excuse me. What type of
There you
video
go.
content will you be putting out?
Dude, honestly, that's what I have to figure out in the next couple of days. I mean,
Yeah.
other than just like highlight stuff of our athletes, I'm gonna be on site trying to capture things with our other athletes because we have a lot of athletes who are gonna be there just hanging out and not actually competing. So I'm gonna try to create as much as I can there. But yeah, I get to kind of just wing it, and it's gonna be interesting. So I don't really know, but I'm the only person doing photo or video for RPM, so it's just gonna be as much as I can crank out. Great. Like that's all I can really hope for.
Yeah. It's difficult when you're split like that, when you have people on the floor and then people offsite, because then you have to try to scheduling becomes the biggest thing. because for some of us it's just like hopping towards events and just planning them out. But I can only imagine what it's like to try to hop back and forth. Like we have to go to community workouts and such, but even then it's like, you know, there's somebody else there documenting that. Like I won't have to, like, sometimes I'll have to hop in and get some here and there, but primarily my work is on the floor.
For EMOM, I'm guessing you have to send out like photos after every event for Dave.
Yeah, so the way it works, it's kind of a really interesting process with Christine. So it's like, so for concept 2, I have a few deliverables that have to be like pretty much real time or you know, like within the event or the day. But for the most part for them, it's just like content to deliver later on so that they've got stuff for the future. Nice. But for Dave specifically, it's a crazy town because sometimes the story's happening so fast because we try to plan some things that we want to do ahead of time, but because everything changes so quickly during the day and because Christine will have an idea and she'll be like, hey, I saw this happen. I want to go ask them one question, you know, when they're recovering or whatever. And then I'm going to write a post and a story about it. And I have to literally like pull the card out of my camera, throw it into my phone, drag them into, you know, the Lightroom iPhone app and try to get a photo that matches like what she's trying to say or the story she's trying to tell. So most of the time I have to go in there and like find an image. That's one of the ones I didn't shoot actually. The one that you're posting right now. I was shooting wide on that one and she was like, oh no, I need it up close because of the reaction. But yeah, a lot of those stories happen in real time. And so she'll be like, oh, did you get that one of Dave siving Rich's head? I'll be like, oh, and so I go in, slide through my phone as fast as I can. And that way she can upload it while she tells the story in real time. So honestly, that workflow is the fastest workflow that I've done in any event ever. Because most of the time she wants to post it as fast as possible as the story's going on. So. Oh gosh, that one blew up. That one got memed like crazy.
That's funny.
45,000 likes. So Dave, somebody asked, is Dave gonna be doing his normal thing this year? Like he's gonna be programming everything.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about like what he's actually going to be doing. So for the most part, I know that we're doing the Instagram takeover as if he was there just like before. Whether or not he's going to be on site for one day or the whole time, I have no idea. That's kind of up to him. And he's been very vague. So without getting in trouble by saying stuff I'm not supposed to, I'll just leave it as it's kind of a mystery, even to me. So yeah, you'll just have to keep your eye out, I guess, for any posts about that.
Well,
nice. See. Jordan's asking who's setting up the group hangout in Madison. I think you gotta talk to. I think you gotta talk to Carly. She's the party person here.
She's literally the one that's asking. So she has to say the time and the place.
I'll get back to you on that.
Dude, with the hours that the games start and finish, man, it's gonna just be shoot and sleep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you have time to party, good luck.
Yeah, I feel like this year it's a little more. I don't know. It looks more busy than normal. I think last year it was only either Friday or Saturday that we finished at 9, but I think after looking at the schedule, it's gonna be like every night just finish at that time.
Yeah, it'll be some late nights for sure.
Have you guys been training for the games as far as sleeping late and taking a lot of caffeine?
That's my life.
That never stops.
Yo, subconsciously that was my excuse the last couple of days. It's like, oh, dude, I'm just training for the games.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do that whole year.
Stower, who are your athletes? Is Noah still RPM?
No, I don't. Not sure. Actually, it's a good question. I don't think so. I have to see if his contract expired. I think it did. So right now we have Adler and Ariel Lowen are the main ones. So
Nice.
we've kind of condensed our athletes over since I started, the last year or so. So we don't have a ton. We're trying to branch off into other sports as well. So we're trying to like limit, what we're doing in just one space.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't know until you start working there. That RPM has so much like cool shit. Like their apparel is awesome. I thought it was just like rope climbs.
I know everyone thinks it's just ropes. It's not. The
No,
ropes are great, but
Yeah.
Party.
Do you tell Linz?
Party.
She looks like somebody that's parties more than Carly. Maybe we can.
we
can
have
ask her.
skydiving.
Maybe we
Yeah,
can
let's
ask
get
her where's
Lindsay in
the-
here, dude.
Lindsay and I go
Lindsay's
hard.
wicked.
She's from
No, you gotta
Arizona,
throw
right?
Lindsay in this.
Like we have
Yeah.
3 people from Arizona.
Yeah, let's
Who
go.
else is from
That's
Arizona?
a fun fact, Carlos.
Eric, and Lindsay.
The gas.
Eric, where are you from?
Yuma,
Which Eric?
Arizona.
Which Eric?
Well, which one's from Arizona?
Both.
Both
Both of us. Both Erics.
What? Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I used
very
to live
big.
in Arizona too.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Okay, Lindsay said she's from Florida.
but I'm saying that she lives.
Also
She
Florida.
lives in Arizona.
Let's go. Oh, that we got 2 Floridians.
We gotta throw Lindsay in here, man. Invite her.
3.
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
if she
come
wants
on
to get
now.
on.
Lindsay, let's go.
All right, let me send her the link. Let's see if
Oh,
she's
Lindsay
coming
used
up.
to live. in
She's
Florida.
probably skydiving.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
is skydiving.
Wild.
She's
Like
me
VRD
there.
Never.
skydiving.
Check,
I
hold
just
on, let
sent-
me just
I
get
just
this
sent her-
jump in real fast.
I just sent her the link. Let's see.
Let's
She's
see if she
probably
takes.
not
She's
gonna.
probably in
How
an
amazing
airplane.
is she jumps in, she's like in the middle of a dive. Or,
Okay.
Yeah, she's in the
It's-
airplane going up.
It's 5 over there, so probably.
Let's talk about. Oh,
Yeah, see,
yeah.
there
she's-
we go.
1 second you're on a plane, no big deal.
Yeah. Let's talk about lenses that you're gonna be bringing for the CrossFit Games. That's one of the
Oh,
questions that people
everybody's
ask the most.
Favorite question.
So let's go. Let's see. Let's start with Castaños. Let's go left, right.
Dude. I'll be taking 7200, 24 to 70, 35, and then the one, I think it's 150 to 600, the Sigma. So that's what I'll be taking. The Sigma actually broke on me after the second event of semis. I had whipped it out first event, and then it just wasn't firing. And I was like, dude, what is going on? And I was trying to find somebody with another Canon body because all you guys shoot Sony. And then
I'm Cannon.
there to go. I didn't know you, dude. No,
Carly
I do.
too.
Yeah.
Canon, let's go. Oh yeah, Carl's is.
Well,
dude.
at least nobody's Nikon, which is.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, Vic's
I'm
Nikon.
Shots
okay.
fired.
Vic smokes, bro. Nick,
I'm
dude,
okay.
Vic, I'm gonna
I'm
speak
okay
for
with
Vic here, bro.
Canon.
Vic tried, and I hope she doesn't get mad for saying it. Vic tried a Sony,
Yeah,
didn't like
the
it.
A1. Yeah.
She didn't like it.
She didn't
went
like
back,
the
bro.
A1. Well, she probably
No,
wasn't
bro.
used to this.
She's
I think
way
she's
DSLR, and so
she's
is
used to
Carl's.
DSLRs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
that
you
makes
guys?
sense.
Is everybody mirrorless? Let's get
Yeah.
techie, huh?
Uh,
No,
pre-
dude, I love that.
Speaking of
Stover-
that, I have 4
Stover,
here,
Fear, and I.
34.
Yo, I love the DSLRs are sick.
Yeah, agree.
Have you guys played with the mirrorless and just didn't like it, or
This one's gonna be my first one,
Oh,
so
look at that.
I'm actually getting an R3 from Canon
lens.
to use the game. So
no shit? You got it like
Yeah.
that, huh?
yeah, buddy.
Yo, that's wicked. Have you
So
played with it?
No, it'll be my first time touching. In fact, I just got the confirmation today that they're shipping it to the hotel. So
Oh,
I'll just
Which-
I'll pick it
which
up on
camera?
Tuesday. The new Canon R3. The
Oh, yeah.
monster.
Steroids.
I've heard good things. Actually, Sroka just got it too.
The
Alex Sroka.
R3.
Yep.
That's
Wow.
cool.
Yeah. All right. And you're gonna be using 2 cameras, Eric?
Three.
Well,
Oh, which
I'll
one?
have 3. Yeah.
No, Castaños.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
sorry.
have 3.
Are you gonna be
carrying?
gonna be carrying 3, or are you gonna have just a harness with 2?
Probably a harness with 2, and then I have the sling that's got all my snacks in it and my batteries
Fanny pack.
and a knife.
Greenhalgh, how about you? What lenses?
I'll have a 2470, a 7200, and then I'm getting a 400 2.8.
Let's go.
And you're gonna be carrying 3 cameras around?
I mean, I'll have one in my bag. I'll have 2 bodies like ready, just one wide angle and then one, depending on where I'm at with the telephoto.
How about you,
I'll
Fury?
just have the other-
I'm renting a 400 2.8. I haven't used that thing before, but it's going to be
This would be
a weird
sick.
one. Last year I had a 200 600, and that was like useless indoors. So I figured this time it would be the 400, a 7200, and I usually just take these with me because they just fit in my backpack, but I don't really use them at 35 and 85. But like the 35 I would use for Vendor Village or whatever. I'll probably have a 35 in my pocket, just in case at the finish line they get really, really close and I can just, get a couple snaps of these guys.
Carly?
I think we can guess Carly's.
Wow.
Carly's gonna use a 35 and 85.
Chill. Let
Prime.
me answer. Come on. No, I'm doing a 120 to 300, 70 to 200, 85-35, 24,
That's right.
50.
Dang. Lenses.
Stover.
Cannon gang. Come on.
Now
Let's
we're
go.
outnumbered.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing the 70 to 200, 1 to 4, and I'm actually interested. I'm glad that I didn't get the 150 to 500. Is that what it is? The Sigma, or is it 1?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna try that one, but I was like, I'm just gonna go with the 1 to 4, and a 24 to 70, and then my favorite is the 135.
Yo.
That's like my favorite lens ever. It's
If you
wild.
guys had to,
35 at Wadapalooza.
if you guys
What's
had
that?
to choose one, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
The 135 at Wadapalooza works well. I like
Yeah.
the 135.
it's awesome.
If you guys had to choose one focal length for the games, like if you absolutely had to, what would you guys run?
70 to 200 if I have to pick
One
one.
focal length, bro.
One
Yeah,
prime.
that's
One
that's
prime.
several.
One prime, bro. If you
Well,
had to
that-
run it, what could you get away with?
Oh
That's tough.
shit. Just
Now,
one?
can you have a multiplier focus
No,
thing?
bro. Straight sensor, straight
I'm just
sensor
giving.
lens.
I'm going 135. I'll just
Yeah,
get
I
tight
think
shots.
I think that 135.
Yeah, I would have
Do you
said
have
135.
one? Is that like a 1.4, Steven?
That's a 1.8.
Eight.
I'm not that
1.8.
rich.
Oh no, but the 130. But you can get. I think it's a 1.8. Like
Yeah.
you can rent 135, 1.8.
And 1.4, I believe,
my God.
depending on the brand. But I think Sony has a 1.4. But maybe I'm
Lindsay,
wrong.
are you gonna keep talking on the chat or you're gonna join?
Let's
Bro,
go,
I
Lindsay.
literally-
Skydiving.
I showed hers because she said 7,200. Then she put, oh,
Yeah.
135. Oh, that's a goodie.
There we go.
Yeah, 135.
A lot of 400s here.
I'm gonna shoot with
Yeah,
four,
seriously, you guys are all gonna be crushing
dude. That
it. Like,
400 2.8,
Lord.
it's incredible. I used it last year for the first time.
That Waza?
Pretty good.
Is
no,
it
at the
heavy?
games. No, it's not that heavy.
It's like 8 pounds, which is not that bad
It's-
considering how large it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
they've
is
gotten
that-
quite a bit lighter lately.
Yeah, using a mirrorless camera like a Sony A7 III or an A7 IV, it's just so small, and the lens is like a freaking telescope. So it looks kind of weird, but it's a great lens. I used it a lot last year. I had the 70 to 200. I'm gonna bring again, and I was using a 24 prime, and I'm gonna bring also like a 16 to 35 just to get some, whenever they're finishing the workout, just to get some wider shots.
So Lindsay, I don't think she wants to join us because she just keeps commenting but doesn't want to join us.
Yeah.
That one right there.
She's probably still midair. Let's give her some time.
Yeah.
She's landing on Earth. Come on.
She's
Yeah.
landing on her.
You
She's
got the
literally in
parachute
the
over.
air
Give
messaging
her a
back.
break.
I can't believe she does
Watching
that. That's
this.
wild.
Yeah.
I
What
can't
are
believe
some
that.
what are some of the like most difficult parts about shooting the games for you guys? Like some of the things that in the past you've been like, oh shit, that definitely fucked this up, and hopefully won't happen again.
Not wearing sunscreen.
All right, that's a good one.
Dude, burned so
Solid
bad. Well, and last year the media shirts were the light gray, and you're just sweating so much that you had like the dark under boob sweat and the every time I saw a photo of somebody taking a picture of me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the worst shirts we could ever have, was those freaking light gray. I hope it's not that again this year. But
So Gray's a no-go at the games?
not light gray. You gotta have like I don't know.
No,
It's
just
weird
black
because like
shirts.
you don't want to
Yeah.
wear black because it's outside, but you also want to wear black because it just hides everything better.
Hides the sweat. Yeah.
I remember, what was it, in 2019? They told us, hey, you got to wear black so that you blend in.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if that's still a thing, but that's what I
Forgot about
remember.
that.
That's what I've always done.
Yeah.
I wore
Yeah.
all black last year every day.
I wear all
That's just
black
your
every day,
thing,
just in
Yeah,
general.
just
Just
in
that
general.
emo life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page with the black, even though it's the hottest.
I'll say for me, the hardest thing I would say is like everyone is like always in front of Tia and Brooks lane. And I really like it. I hate that all my shots sometimes look so similar to everyone else's, but like the access is so hard. So I want to get them shots that are quality, but also there's such a sheer amount, like so many people in front of those lanes all the time. So I would say,
For everybody that's listening, please do not take photos of Tia or Brooke. If you don't want to,
Carly,
I feel like everyone knows you, Carly.
I mean,
everyone knows
you
you.
don't
right
wanna get
now.
some
a
hate.
3-foot barrier bubble around Carly. You can't
And
be
make
Well,
sure-
everyone knows her now, so
No,
this
I'm
year
gonna
it's
wear
gonna
one
be
of
like,
those like Zorb things.
a bubble suit.
Yeah,
bubble boy.
That'd be
Just-
great.
sprinting through. No, I would just say that's hard, just because there's a lot of people that want to get those shots, and I get it, but there's a lot of people there, so.
How
but you have to.
frustrating is for you, for example, Carly, that obviously Proven is your main job. Like you work there full time, and your job is actually to take photos of Tia and Brooke. So how frustrating is for you to Tia wins an event, she's celebrating, you take the shot, and then you go online. There is 15 other photographers that already posted a photo. I mean, if it's CrossFit, it's understandable because that's their number one, right? Like they have priority when it comes to posting.
Yeah,
But for you,
I mean, I'm kind of used to it. I think the moments that I like get down on myself is like a moment that I missed of them. Like I want to be able to give them that if I'm working for them. Like I want to deliver the best work I can. So like if I miss certain shots, that's when I'll be like, oh, like come on, Carly. But I would say for the most part, I'm like I know everyone's gonna be posting about Tia. Like I know that's just the nature of it. But yeah, I just hope to like that my work is as good or like it like they're happy with it at least. So yeah.
that's a good perspective.
And just from like an outsider's point of view, I think we all should get better as creatives at limiting what we post that's outside our scope, especially during the games. So like, let's say I'm shooting that same moment. And like, to me, if I'm not shooting someone that I'm supposed to be shooting, and it's a little bit different working for Dave because I'm also trying to shoot whatever the story is. So if the story is that Tia just crushed like her first place, whatever, Christine's probably going to write about that. So I have to have something for that. But generally speaking, what I try to do is if I'm not shooting specifically for, a brand that I'm working for or whatever, I try to shoot a shot that's different, first of all. And then second of all, I tell myself, and it's just a personal thing, but I think it should be something everyone does, don't post that stuff real time. Like if you want to post it a couple of months later, like, oh, the games are over, everyone's kind of like settled down, and you're like, oh, look at this 6 shot I got of Tia celebrating at the end, then that's great. Like nobody's going to be like, oh, that's messed up that you posted it. But like real time, if you're just like going on your own social media and like posting that during the games, then it does kind of ruin the fact that like Carly's supposed to get that shot and Carly's there to get that shot for her brand, for Tia. And so I think we should do better as creatives, being respectful of like other people's assignments and not post that stuff real time unless it's your job, like unless that's something that you're supposed to be taking. And then of course, like months down the road, like post it, like tag her in it and be like, oh, this was such a cool shot that I got at the games back then. No big deal.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
say
there was 2 occasions I was guilty of that one for sure. And that was last year.
I 100% agree with Eric, but at the same time, it's hard for people that really don't know, right? Like I remember the first time I went to the games, I had no idea like who's who, if this person works for this person. It's just so many people there that it's just kind of hard to like.
That's what I was
when
gonna
it's
say.
new.
There's so many. There's so many people.
Yeah.
But I think a big thing that to piggyback off that, Eric, is like I completely agree, and I think a big way to, if you're new, to avoid doing something like that inadvertently is to not act like everyone else isn't there. Like get involved, like how some people who are new here are asking questions, things like that, and they're watching this and getting to see people who are going to be there for a specific reason. Like the more involved you are, the easier it's going to be, and the less you're going to get on someone's bad side for doing something like that, even if you don't mean to. So I think that's a really good point that you made.
100%.
Yeah,
But
like I said, last year I was guilty of 2 of those times. Which I think everyone was for the one that I'm going to say first, and I think everyone knows
coming
it's
out of the water, right?
The one
out
of
of the
Tia.
water, Tia yelling, right? So CrossFit posted their version, I posted mine or whatever, and then the second one was when Mal won her first event and she like screamed after the thruster. Yeah. But like I said, I know what you're saying. I think I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm biased because it was me, but I feel like if you have an iconic moment like that's something that you just need to share right at that moment. But if it's just like after every event, whoever's the first winner and you post, I think that just becomes kind of annoying. But I don't know. Like I said,
I think we've all been there too.
Like,
We've all
I just
done
have to
that.
capture, and I just like those are the only things I just needed to post right at that moment. The rest were just kind of like whatever.
And another thing is that as we were talking in 2019 was the first year that they started allowing a lot of people, and that's when that issue started happening, right? Like a lot of people were new at it, and most people, me included, we just wanted to get the photo out, and it's kind of like, you know, oh, we have this cool moment, this cool photo. But the more that we are there, like for most of us, it's gonna be our third year, fourth for Stover, and I don't know, Imam, what, like 5-6 years at the games?
5.
5, yeah. So, you know, like we understand like now that we shouldn't be stepping somebody else's floor
I think
or athlete, because at the end of the day, it's like respect too, right? Like if we want to like set a higher standard for the industry, we need to respect who's working for somebody else. Like I know that Eric's gonna be covering Mal, and I have no, you know, there's nothing on my, like whenever I'm hired by Mayhem, for example, like they're not telling me, hey, you can cover whoever you want to, because you know they already know, hey, these other athletes are already gonna be covered, and let's put somebody here that's gonna get your day a little better.
Snap! This guy he just comes up in here with some glasses.
The hair in this group is unbelievable.
Sroka, turn your phone sideways. There you go. Better. All right. Sroki, give me a minute. We're talking about something very important. I wanted to get you on screen, but you're in timeout for 1 minute. All right. Who else wants to?
Wait, I have a comment on that.
Oh, okay. Good. Yes.
So what about
as this guy is twirling his freaking glasses asking this question? Jesus Christ.
All right. So what about instances where, like, for instance, these games, I actually have to cover Tia, like, with a group of people for a couple of photos. Yeah, I think that
Carla's
the
gonna fight you.
partnerships.
You choose what to do.
The partnerships, I think, are complicated things, right? Like, we all know Carly is covering for Proven. I don't want my goal is not to undermine that. And I guess what you're saying too is valid. Like if I'm posting the stuff I'm getting at Tia, that's different. But if I'm delivering it because, you know, Ramwad, for instance, wants to use that content and it's the same photo, that's just me fulfilling an professional obligation, right?
Yeah, those are two different. Because that's one of the athletes that you are in charge of covering, right? Like
if you're being paid to go to the games for like to cover certain people, of course you're going to cover those people, you know, like that's what you're getting paid to do. I think my point was more like, okay, because Tia happens to be competing, every single person that's there wants to be in front of her lane just to get the shot.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, like
they should be respectful and
absolutely. And like if I know Mal's competing and like if I'm in Eric's lane, I'll be like, oh my gosh, no worries, like let me step, because that's just respecting Eric, you know.
But some people are very aware of that, because I remember last year, I mean, when somebody's like in front of Rich, they see me, they were kind of like, oh yeah, come in, you know, because they know that's, but at the same time, and there's people that have no idea, or some people that just don't care, right? So you're always in that spot that you're like, shit, like I want to be here, but I can't because there's so many people in front.
I think one thing that you can do if you're new, and one thing that I think we've all probably experienced, but there we go. If you're new and you've, like, let's say Carlos was behind me and I'm like in front of him. If I'm ignoring him and pretending like he's not there, I'm not going to realize that it's someone who actually needs to be there. I feel like there's some people who just try to avoid eye contact, or like pretend like there's no one next to them, or no one like trying to do anything, and then they'll just be in their own little world, and then that just kind of screws everything up for someone who actually needs to be there. So
awareness rating needs to be high.
Yeah.
Renato just texted me that he's going to put Logan to sleep, so he's going to be gone for a little bit.
Good luck.
Yeah. No excuses. Get back to the podcast.
Yeah.
This is way more important.
Sroka, so since you are the last one to join for the night, what's going to be your assignment this year at the games?
So I'm covering some podium athletes. for Podium. And then I'm not sure if you guys are aware of or have noticed, maybe a couple of you are, but me, Justin Tamani, David Sue, and then Stuart, YKS Media, we've kind of all come together to form this kind of media agency, I guess you could say, called Double Agent. So we've been retained to cover some athletes for ROMWAD, and then also to cover some athletes for the WAD Life. And then I'll also be covering some athletes for Underdogs and Lab, which are slightly lesser commitments. I'll have a couple of other people, but it's kind of a lot for my first year at the games.
So just might as well just take photos of everybody, and then
you're covering the whole floor.
Well, we've got it kind of piecemealed for the Double Agent stuff, so that's not. I'm not too worried about that. We've all got some obligations there. But yeah, and then Underdogs has another media person, so they'll kind of be complementing, and that stuff will just be what I can get. So I do have a kind of a priority list in terms of what I'm contractually obligated versus what I'm more kind of in kind providing some backup content for people too. So, but it's gonna be chaos.
You're gonna be busy.
Yeah, you guys will all see me in my little Sroka panicked phase. What lens? Oh. I'll switch it 5 times and then I'll end up with the wrong one. So
yeah, we have Compete Media. He says, just want to say appreciate all of you guys for doing this and being so dope. Thank you. He's one of the nicest people. Yeah, he's so nice.
Yeah, came up to me at Greenhalgh Games and just said hi, and just I don't know. It's kind of most people are like that in this industry. But
yeah, we have Jonathan Ortega. He says, okay, so I'm not a creator like you guys, just starting out, but I did my research and I know who all you guys cover mainly, like your normal peeps, so I get out of the way. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
You know what, Carly? It's funny because like that's the thing that should be like the thing that you and Eric like harped on. It's so important too, because it's like it happened in the best case scenario that happens. You turn and someone's like, oh shit, like let me get away, and you're like, that's cool as hell. Like I appreciate you doing that. It's not always gonna happen for sure. That's why it's like, to your point, it's so cool. Like when we can be, that's what this podcast is for. It's cool that I brought it up, is to like talk about. We didn't want to do this podcast and think like, okay, let's talk about like shit, like important shit like this. Like, no, we need to address some shit. But it's cool that we have the ability to all have a conversation. We need to talk about some shit. It's cool that we have the ability to talk about these things, because prior, like, we don't know what we don't know. It's like, those are things that we all keep internally, but it's cool that we're able to have this conversation, because it is tough. There's so many people out there. I remember like 29, well, even last year, it felt like there were so many people on the floor that it was like, there was many times where I was just like, there's too many people here. This is
way too many.
There's just too many people here. This is crazy.
My favorite's when someone's walking around with a GoPro.
That was 2019. That was 2019, 100%. 2019, there was GoPros, iPhones, and it's like, bro.
With a telephoto attachment.
Yeah, just like, okay, but it's cool. Just like, can you scoot over?
And then you're playing this half idea where you're like, man, like, it's cool that you're here, but damn, you gotta like scoot it, bud.
I think it's like an awareness
Don't
thing.
get in Carly's way. Wear a cut.
I'm not rude, I promise.
The main thing that people have learned from this episode is that you should not get in Carly's way.
Dude, I did not want that to happen for Carly, bro. I'm like, dude, or we should all collectively wear a shirt the first day and say get out of Carly's way.
Yeah.
Yes. Can we get them printed?
Yeah. Bruce says, looking forward to kicking it with all of you guys again. Let's crush it. Wish
Alex, you're gonna say
nothing
something.
but the best. Hey, Fury's back.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think that at some point, and this is just my perspective as being my first year, like shooting at the games. It's at every stage of this, like whether it's a semi or something else, I've always wanted to do things the right way, and that means asking people who've been there before me. So I think that's what at least I'll go in there with, and I think that kind of just, as the years go by, you have the veterans and the people and people should just kind of learn from one another on how to do things the right way. And then if you do that, I think you'll just fall into place. It doesn't mean that you're always underneath people, but I think to a certain extent, if you follow that pattern of just, there's certain people like everybody on this podcast who do things the right way. And if you just kind of follow in their footsteps and lean on them for advice, then you'll typically not end up making some big mistakes. So at least I hope not to fuck up.
I think that you're right. And on your podcast, I said this, and I'm going to stand by it, is like, just be nice. If you're just nice and respectful, even if you make a mistake, like people, even if you do something that maybe irritates someone, but you're nice and you're not trying to do that, people will notice.
Yeah, because as I said, like some people just don't know.
Yeah,
like
I'm not nice though, by the way.
Some new creator,
the nicest guy on it.
some new creators might just, like they just want to shoot everybody and they have no idea who Carly is, but now they're gonna find out.
Yo, I can't wait to be on the phone.
Don't get in my way.
Bro?
Yeah. Dude, Carly looked at me like she was mean mugging me last year at the games.
I knew you were gonna bring this
We'll
up.
never.
No, you gotta elaborate now because Carly doesn't agree with you.
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
She will let you know real quick that you shouldn't be in front of Tia.
Alex, I was you last year. I was stressed as hell. Like I was so scared I was gonna miss something. Like I was the chick that was sprinting, like making sure I got everything because I was like fully in charge of Proven Instagram. So I was like, holy shit. But
was
yeah,
that your first year too?
Well, and on top of that, if Carlos is in front of you, how tall are you, Carlos? You're not a short dude.
Bro,
like,
you're a giant.
You're not small. It's not easy to get around you.
Bro, Carlos is huge. If people don't know.
No, I'm like 6 feet, maybe 6'1".
And if I'm focused, I'm like this at Carlos. I'm like.
Yeah, no.
Carly does have the mean mug.
Yeah,
I didn't know Carly, but I knew right away I didn't want to mess with her. I was like, no.
Her and Vic.
Carlos, you should ask people, like, as a closing, like, if they had advice for anybody, like, going to the games or whatever, if it's your first time as a creator, whatever.
Yeah. By the way, never mind. I was gonna say, if any of you guys have to go at any time, you can. Like, you don't have to be here until
we're gonna be here
live. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was.
If you need to go, Carlos.
Wait, and we have. No, I have nothing else to do.
Carlos trying to jet out, huh? He's like,
no, I'm having fun. We have over 20 people watching the live, so everybody needs to hit the like button right now. I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds starting now. Nobody say anything.
You don't have to.
Hey, gotta give them something to watch.
Shut up. Wait, nobody say anything. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there's two missing. You know who you are. Click it right now.
They said,
did they really do it?
Don't talk to me like that.
Yo, they just dipped out. They didn't.
They dipped out. They're like,
you know what? Fuck this dude.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Carly? Posted something out last night about creator. I mean, we talk about it often, but it's like
bring it up. Is it on your story?
People that are, I think it's not there anymore.
It was cool.
That was a really cool thing.
Yeah.
There's still like a shared one.
It was mad cool what you posted.
Is there any way I can see it, Carly? Is it on your
my story?
Oh, okay. Wait, I'll look it real quick. But yeah, let's talk about that because that's another good topic.
Lindsay said it was.
I thought it was stupid. I'm kidding.
Like, oh, you heard that laugh from Carly. You're on the shit list now. That's the evil laugh. Yeah. That was
it's been fun, guys. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so let's see. I don't know.
One before that.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's not letting me like
hit the arrow.
Skip it. No, it'll go out there. Oh no, that's me.
There you go. Screenshot it. Hurry up, go.
Are you sure you have it? Oh, you don't have it, Carly.
Go back, homie. Come on.
Nah, this timer.
Oh yeah,
it's a timer.
That's it. Oh, here it is.
That's the one.
Okay. It says every year. Carly, read it, please. We want to hear it with your voice.
Could you please? Can you recite?
Go to my phone. Okay, I said, every year around this time, I feel the need to say this. It is a privilege to be a storyteller. Being a creator should mean more to you than the clout, the features, getting known, making more money. This work to its core asks you to document what happens in time, to tell stories, to deliver feelings, something that requires you to both physically and emotionally tap into what is going on. It is a privilege to do so. It is also a privilege to be a part of something that is much greater than yourself, to give others captured moments that can be relived forever. Before important events or big moments, I like to remind myself of why I do this work. I want to tell the right stories for the athletes I care about. Remind yourself of why you do this work. Your work will absolutely fucking reflect the care you have.
She's an artiste.
Well said.
Damn, he's never used that before, bro.
No, you made that weird now.
Why? Oh, we were all supposed to shut up after, huh?
I'm glad you threw in at least one.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, where's the mic drop? She's just like.
Yeah, we can't follow that now. We're done.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. We all got something to say. Come on.
No,
you and Michael Dalton are just great at pulling the heartstrings, because he said something like that on your podcast, Carlos, and I was like, it was perfect. I even reposted it because I was like, this is great.
We're big feelers for sure.
Yeah,
we're
going
sensitive.
off of that, I remember, it's very interesting how emotional you can get too by observing, but also capturing at the same time. Like, I remember everything that happened with Annie Thorsdottir, it seemed like was an emotional moment last year. I mean, she's coming back from just having a kid, whatever. And something that actually Ty Randall taught me way back in the day when I first did Wodapalooza for the first time was always look for the story that's happening outside the story. So I remember she finished one of the last workouts she did, and everyone's focused somewhere else about like other people still doing the workout, whatever. And she's on her hands and knees and she's just like crying into her hands. And I remember like, I'm capturing that moment. I'm just taking a couple clicks and I'm like, oh, that's, it's an emotional moment that she's having right there. And I'm sitting there like tearing up behind my lens and trying to like still stay focused while also seeing like just somebody who's experiencing a huge emotional moment because they've overcome something. And I remember when she hit her snatch and she stood it up and the whole crowd went absolutely bonkers. And like everyone has chills in the entire place. So, exactly what you said, you're part of helping people feel that when they're not there, right? Because everyone who's sitting in the arena is experiencing it real time. But there's a ton of people that are experiencing it from what we capture and for what media people put out there. So it is a huge responsibility, and you can actually get caught up in it yourself where you're like kind of becoming an observer instead. Like, so it's kind of a cautionary tale too, right? Don't get caught up watching when you're supposed to be creating too.
So much more happens like off the floor or like right after events than actually the event. So actually probably arguably most of it.
Yep. No, but
we're all very lucky.
I really like what Carly posted because it touches some points that most of us have been like talking about it lately, which is the like some people just try to do it for the cloud, because in reality we know how to get followers, right? Like just post a reel of slow-mo somebody that's pretty famous and you're gonna get good followers. But what Carly's saying, like it shouldn't be about that or the money, right? And at the end of the day, like those reels or those followers are not gonna bring you money. What's gonna bring you money is delivering that feeling that Carly's talking about, right? Like if you're a good storytelling by either doing photos or videos, that's what's going to set you apart. There's a reason why all of you guys are in the spot that you are right now. It's because you know how to deliver that feeling, either doing photography or videography. That's the reason why Stover is working at RPM. It's not like, oh yeah, like I got lucky, I was there. And I got there. So, in some way, everything that we do, we get lucky because we get an opportunity to get to where we are. Yeah. But luck is only gonna take you somewhere. Like you gotta finish the job. It's like, I see it in a way of like you're playing golf. Lucky gets you to hole 17. If you want to win the tournament, you gotta, finish hole 18, and that's all on you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Most of us, like all of us, like do the sport, we're involved in it, but like but when you spend time with the athletes and you see them go through what they go through, because we all do sport, we all do CrossFit workout, we know what it feels like, we know when it hurts, we know when it sucks, and then we see it online and we're almost like desensitized to it in a way. Like we see the workouts, like, okay, we know that sucks, but then like when you spend time with them for so long, like personally, I had I was lucky enough to spend a lot of time here in Vermont with Mal and watch it all happen. And I'm sure you guys can have your own experience with your athletes, but to be able to like see it, feel it, and hear the conversation that happened before, after, the stuff that they went through throughout the year, all the conversations that they're having, like you get so emotionally invested that like I'm like personally, like this is the first year I'm going to go out there and be like emotionally invested with somebody and with an athlete, and it's going to be wild. So it's exciting, but it makes it crazy, because then even last year, like when documenting like Matt's first year back, I like thinking about like, I can't imagine being him like right now, like what he's feeling watching stuff. So like for us, I think we talked about a little bit on our podcast once, Carlos. It's like putting ourselves in their shoes in a sense, and like it sounds like there's only so much you can do, right? We're on the sidelines. It's like, but how best can you show their point of view from where you're at? And it's like doing your best with that challenge. But like when having the experience with being with the athletes and then going, I'm curious to see, like personally, just sharing this, like how it's going to be being so emotionally involved. And Carly, you were like that last year, and I'm curious to know your guys' experience, like being emotionally involved with like an athlete. Like curious how you were with Imam with that whole Annie situation. But that stuff is wild to me. Like people, like I can only imagine you, Carly, like being with them for years and then seeing.
And that's another reason that I feel like you need to give that creator the opportunity to post that moment, because she's the one, for example, like Carly's the one that's heavily emotionally invested into that moment specifically. And whenever she gets a moment, like for example, like whenever Tia hit the I think it was the clean complex in Australia. Yeah, and it was like the fire, and Tia's like, yeah, like
those are crazy.
That's the moment that Carly wants to have, and you know, like she wants to be the one that's posting it, not from her account, I mean from Proven account, but if that moment would have been released by another 15 content creators, it would have been like shit, you know, like
that's also part of the reason.
Much time invested into this, and you know, I wanted it to be me.
That's part of the reason why we like that picture so much too, right? And you guys can disagree with me if you want, but like part of the reason why that picture's so sick too is because like throughout the whole year we've seen it, like Tia's story be told through Carly's eyes, and then on a big moment that gets built up throughout the year, and she's the one that took it, you know, and you see the style, you see it all come through, and it's like, oh, that's wicked. That's cool to see it all come through.
Yeah, I think like that experience of being like asked to go to Torian with them, and then like I stayed with them the weekend that they were competing, and like they don't invite people to like stay with them during competitions really. Like it's a very stressful time, and so like I spent 2-ish weeks with them before that, and was with their family, was having barbecues with their family. Like I felt like family, and so it's an odd feeling going from this is somebody like I have so much love and care for, and I want them to be the best they can on the floor, and then see them absolutely crush what they want and get that, and be able to like give that to them and say, hey, look at your moment, you know? And so like, oh my gosh, like the emotional ties are a completely different thing. Like, and that's why I always talk about like vulnerability on my Instagram. People are like, holy shit, chill. And I'm like, no, like the more you're connected to the people you're shooting, like the game changes, you know, like you care so much more for what you're doing. Like anyone can go to the games and take photos of jacked people. Like we get it. But like, if you actually want to tell good stories, like you got to care about the people that you're shooting, you know? And I'm mad passionate about that. Like, yeah.
I can speak to that too as well, Carly, like just to follow your point, like being here with like, I mean, I'm here in Vermont now, like Matt and Sam are in the other room right now. Like Mal just took off, like we've been here, and it's just wild just to experience it at another level. It's just like, and granted, like there's no right or wrong way. It's just speaking from the experience of like the emotional investment, and not saying you need to have it, but like you're saying, like it just makes it that much sweeter, and it brings that much more depth to your images or whatever content you have, and it just brings a little bit more to everything, you know. And it's curious, and it's interesting how that happens, because like prior like 18, 19, like you know, it was different goals, and then this year, interesting being like so heavily involved with an athlete, like it makes it like the pressure's like, you know, you really want to be there for them at that moment. And like granted, like you do in any other position as well. Like we're all very fortunate to be there for our athletes, and it's cool, and we all document and want to be there to share these moments so they can go back and look back on them. But the amount of emotional investment that you have after spending so much time with them is like, it's wild.
That is wild. That's like the best part, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It's the fuel for sure that helps you be a little bit more attentive. It's the thing that helps you focus up, like when workouts are announced, and understanding where you need to be, because you understand where they made progress, where a pressure point could be, or like any of these things. You know where to be a little bit more, and the hints are a little bit more like, okay, I know she's really been working on X, got to be here for this, like really want to get this. Or even the weight of winning an event, knowing that they've been working on X thing for so long. It's like, it's cool, because then to be the one to document it, like, granted, not saying, like Harley or I need to be the one shooting Tia or the one to shoot Mal, but it's just like, personally, it just makes it that much sweeter to be able to bring it full circle.
Yeah, that's way more meaningful.
Yeah.
Carly, what was the question you had?
Just like advice for people that are going to the games and like creating there for the first time. Like if you guys all want to give input at all.
Right, Eric Greenhalgh. We have Alex Sroka here. He's gonna be his first time at the games, so give him.
I was at the
advice.
games for a day last year,
okay.
and I brought my little 24-70, and I did post a picture of the Mayhem team. Actually, Carlos.
Ooh.
So rude.
So I'm very experienced, and I don't need anybody's advice. No, just kidding. I would love. I was listening obviously before I hopped on, and a lot of helpful stuff. But I'm all ears now too.
I think the biggest thing for me that I wish I would have been more confident in is just trusting myself. Right, like, it's so easy to get caught up in thinking like you want to try to do something different in order to be like somebody else, as weird as that sounds. But I think the biggest thing is just trust your instincts, trust what you want to create, because everyone does something from a different perspective, and that's what's so beautiful about it. And if we all took the same photograph, none of us would have a job, right? Like, we would all eventually just get narrowed down to like a couple people, because we would all be shooting the exact same thing. And that's what I would say is look for stuff that nobody else is shooting. Some of my favorite shots have nothing to do with what happened on the competition floor. It happened, either before or after. And so just trust your instincts, trust what you do. And then be nice, just be nice to other people, and they'll be nice to you.
I feel like confidence plays such an important role when it comes to posting the best you can, because I mean, if you're gonna be shy at the moment of like taking a photo and stuff, like if you want to take the shot, just do whatever it takes. Again, don't be an ass, be nice, like Greenhalgh saying, but just be confident on the skills that you have and that you're there for a reason, and just get after it. How about everybody else? Any advice that you have for people who are gonna be shooting the games for the first time?
Just have a bunch of batteries charged, have all your SD cards packed, have all your lenses packed. I know it sounds super dumb, but like people will forget, and you don't want to just like make a run to Best Buy in panic, hoping that they have it. But I think I've done this with Imam in the past, where he was in the front and I would just tap on his shoulder. Hey, I'm going to put my lens right over your shoulder for something. So, like I said, I don't care. No one around you really cares. If you just say, "Hey, look, I'm going to be right around your side," it's better than all of a sudden turning and you get whacked by a lens, right?
Yeah,
you need plenty of time. But at least if you don't already see a lens by your peripherals, like just tap the person in front of you. Hey, I'm going to be to your right, and then I think, like I said, I know most of us kind of get crammed at the line, right? Especially towards the end of the week where there's like the finals and stuff like that, and it's all part of the nature. But like I said, it doesn't hurt to just tap someone on the shoulder and just kind of, hey, I'm going to sneak in here really quick. Hey, is there enough room? Hey, I'm going to be over your shoulder, or something like that. But that would probably be the only thing I say.
I agree. My biggest advice will be to really take advantage of the opportunity you're gonna get. Right, it's gonna be for some people it's the first opportunity that you're going to be shooting at the games. Try to make the most out of it, connect with as many people as you can. Like if you've already listened to us, just go to Steven or to Carly and be like, yo, I listened to your podcast episode, I really liked it. And just try to connect with that person, because at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for you to show your skills, but at the same time it's an opportunity for people to like know who you are as a person. And if you work hard and people see that, like you can get cool opportunities from there. And
really good friends.
Yeah, exactly. And all of us have been, I mean, I met Stover at the games in 19, and I mean now like we talk often, like we're good friends. Yeah. So, and same thing with like everybody else, like Eric, I briefly met him last year at the games. I'm talking about Castaños. And then from there you start making connections and just, make the most out of the opportunity. All of us have been in that position that it's our first time doing or shooting for a brand. Like last year was my first time shooting for Mayhem. Eric's last year shooting for HOPO was the first time. And it's like one of those things that either you take that opportunity and you really take advantage of it and you work hard, or you're not going to get the job again, right? So, yep, that'll be probably my best advice.
Anxiety just went through
Carly,
the roof.
Carly, we want to hear from you.
never gonna get.
I forgot.
Never
Alex,
gonna get.
We already know her advice. Stay out of her way.
No.
I'm kidding.
Don't look at her. Don't talk to her. Just look
I would
down
say
at
for
the
Carly,
ground.
just like if you're in a spot where she should
enjoy
be,
the ride and
you
be
don't need
nice.
the shot, just let her fight.
Yeah.
No.
Like, hey, save this
Set your
for you.
camera on the ground and walk
Come
away.
on, Carly.
Carly's getting mortified.
All right, let's let Carly tell something very emotional and vulnerable that's gonna make us cry.
I'm ready to cry. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
No, I would say, like, I always like to think about, like, and I've talked to, like, the athletes I work with a lot about this. Like, the athletes train their whole year for next week. And, like, if you're in CrossFit and, like, you're a creator in CrossFit, like, you basically train the whole year for it too. And so, like, in a different way. But, like, that's how I mentally prepare for the games, is, like, this is going to be a lot. Like, I'm always like, I'm so excited for the games. Like, it's going to be great. I get to see all these people, all this stuff, but it's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of, like, emotional drain. Like, it's a lot. And so, like, I kind of decide, like, that day, like, I have a moment with me and I'm like, we've worked this whole year for these athletes. Like, you're going to grind and you're going to work your ass off. And, like, to me, it's like, my best advice is just grind your ass off. Like, get all the shots, do all the things, meet cool people, talk to people, be nice, but work your ass off, because that's why you're there. Like, and then the rest of the year, you can look back at all these cool moments that you have, but, like, decide, like, how hard you're going to work and then do it. Like,
Logan agrees.
Yes.
He's been
Logan?
clapping.
Logan loves it, dude.
He's been clapping since you start talking, and I see Sroka, his anxiety just went up 3 times more than before.
Oh, I'll pep you up, Alex. Come on.
Come on, Sroki.
I'm gonna fill up that 10 terabyte hard drive in the first day.
What's wild is I feel like you're one of the, like, you are already so established and it's your first time at the games. Usually we were all, like, rookies at the games, like, hadn't had anything under our belt yet, and you're, like, a legend.
No more
already.
pressure.
Yeah, so no pressure.
Yeah, leave the ego at the door.
And you're only working for, like, 5 different people. You got a little bit to do.
I will just say, before I have to leave, because I have to hop off, everybody here, with the exception of not Castaños, but other Eric, because I haven't met you and talked to you much, but I'm thankful for every creator. Every creator that because Stephen, you say, oh, I'm established. Well, I definitely have not done it alone. Anybody who knows me, I've talked to you. I've talked to mostly everybody on this podcast and many others. So I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to be where I'm at, and I fully recognize that it was not just because of me. In any way, shape, or form. I've asked a million questions. I've asked for advice on how to handle situations, clients, all the things that have really accumulated and led me to this moment. So I'm excited to be there and share with everybody that's on the podcast, that's not on the podcast, that I'll get to see at the games. And like I said, it's a community, and it's the most welcoming community that I think I've been a part of. It's, CrossFit in itself is very welcoming, but the CrossFit kind of creator community is almost even more welcoming than that. So just a thank you to all of you for the time you've invested, because I know I've probably not been helpful in the other direction as much as I'd like to be. So I'm thankful for that.
You have been.
Alex with the tears.
It just kills it.
I thought of
doing that.
I actually thought of like a housekeeping thing when Carly was talking about working her ass off. What I have found.
That was beautiful, Alex.
Yes, it was beautiful, by the way.
It was.
But what I have found is what helps me is having more than one pair of shoes and type of shoe, because you're going to walk so much that a lot of times.
I know a shoe to wear.
So, yeah. Well, and what I mean by that is a lot of times I find that if I put the same shoe on every day, like my feet just like absorb the pain that shoe creates. So like I always have like two different types, and I'm talking about like a runner or a trainer or whatever. And I just try to rotate through those so that my feet hurt less in the same spots. Like they're going to hurt eventually, and you're going to hate life and everything's going to hurt. But I find that if I don't put the same shoe on every day, my feet do a lot better over the whole week.
That's
I think it's time for Carly to retire the white Air Max.
Air Force.
They're going to match your fit, right? Like you got to change the shoes to change the color to match your fit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. No, but
that was really good advice.
Yeah.
I was just gonna wear these the whole weekend, and
I got
those Vans
ones all ready to go, so all of you guys can chill out.
Yeah.
My all white Vans today.
What Sroka said, it's so true. Like I feel like I was the most annoying person when I first started shooting CrossFit, because I will ask everybody that I like their work. I'll just be like, I don't know, for example, if it was Greenhalgh, I'll be on Imam's DMs like, yo, I love your work. I think that, the photos that you took are some of the best. And then from there, it's kind of like I open the conversation, then I'll be super annoying, just asking questions. I mean, I wish I could go back. I can probably go back to the DMs and start seeing like all the DMs that I was sending people. I don't even know it specifically which creator, but dude, I was so annoying, and most people were so like. I mean, obviously there are some creators that don't like to share stuff, which, I mean, I don't feel like. I mean, everybody can do whatever they want, but most people are very like receptive. Like, hey, like this is what I do, and just giving me advices. That's why every time somebody reaches out to me, I try to just give it back. Just be like, I was this person at one point, and I was the most annoying person in the DMs. And it helped me a lot. So I'm sure that if I do the same thing, I can help somebody else.
I think that's a big thing about getting into this too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was to say I've gotten onto the phone with people who've asked simple questions about, the image sequence things that I do, and like FaceTime, and I've literally just shared my screen and showed people, because how dare I, try and keep something to myself when everybody else has helped me get to where I'm at, and then I'm just going to shut down and not allow, not return the favor. So, and you guys are all that way too, and I'm grateful for that. But you're right, Carlos. There are people who they rise not by just their own accord, but kind of in the on the tails of others, and then they shut down and they just keep everything for themselves. And I just don't think that that's right.
Well, I think that that's a good segue. And I was going to say one thing that has to do with that is like, don't ever think that you're the expert. Like the second that you think that you've figured it all out and you have nothing to learn, you're not going to be a very fun person to be around. One, and two, you're not actually going to get better, and people are going to then surpass you. So don't be a know-it-all. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I still ask questions. I still don't think I know what I'm doing, but here I am with a job. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, especially if I feel like time goes by really fast. People like us, like I feel like I'm still really new to this. And when someone messages me and asks something, I'm like mind blown. I'm like, wow, it's super meaningful. And just like to pay it forward, I guess.
And people remembers that too. Like if you're being an ass, and then you never know, that person might become the next Eric Castaños, that just like a media director, or Carly at a brand.
Though, like we all have met those people, and we remember them.
And then you know that person wants an opportunity. You remember that moment. You're like, nah, this person wasn't a team player.
I gotta hop off, but I just want to say I'll see you guys all in a couple of days. Super excited.
Later,
and
Bye, Sroka.
This new nickname. I liked it, but
I think he likes sauce.
Weighing on me.
He likes sauce.
Sauce was kind of edgy. Sroki's like, Sroki.
But you're Italian. It's more like Sazinezzi.
Yeah. Like
whatever you want to be called, I'm gonna give you a hug right when I see you.
Hey, Alex, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Before you leave, do you know the meaning of San Diego?
It means a whale's vagina.
Look, Logan is laughing.
Logan's even smiling. I was going to say, I need to put him to bed, so I'm going to see you guys in a few days anyway.
All right,
so goodbye, Logan.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Logan.
See you guys later, man.
Sweet boy.
All righty. All right, guys, we'll see you in a couple of days. Travel safely wherever you're coming from. I know where some of you are coming from, but travel safely, and we'll see you in Madison.
Absolutely, bro. I'll see you soon.
All right.
See you, Jim.
Later, guys.
If anybody's asking where... sorry, Alex, this is not for you. Oh, there we go. If anybody's asking where Brandon BC Visions gets his flares from, apparently he learned them from watching Peter McKinnon on YouTube.
Where did you get all of your skills from? Because good Lord, I could borrow some.
BC's wild.
Yeah.
Dylan, always look, learn to grow and to help others grow. Agree.
Yeah.
And this happening for sure. Stover's gonna get his solo episode. Whenever we're gonna do it, he was on another podcast, so I was like, I cannot have you like back to back because nobody's gonna want to watch it since they're already
gonna want to watch it anyway. So
yeah. Nah, dude. For sure. But yeah, for sure. All right. Anybody else? Any of you guys have anything else to add? Or it's been 90 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to give my real advice really quick. There's a couple of joke but serious ones. Sunscreen and water. That's like a huge one. I bring an extra shirt because it gets super hot. And then snacks, because you're not going to be able to get food. Good luck. Like, you're not going to want to go stand in the crazy lines and stuff at Venner Village and whatnot. And then the one I'm going to preach all the time is just be nice. Be nice, be respectful. Don't be the expert. Just like have respect for people around you. Like, it's not going to hurt you to be nice to everyone else. If anything, it'll help you.
Agreed. Is it Susanna's asking, is it necessary to be hired by a brand or a team to be able to take some photos? Can we take photos for free? I believe that the only way to take photos inside the pit, it's going to be with a brand or a team hiring you, because that's the only way you can get a media pass. I don't know if they allow taking photos from the stands. I'm not sure about it.
They're being pretty strict this year, I think. I don't know why I'm the focus here still, but I think that I don't know about you guys, but since RPM, we're not actually doing a ton in terms of like partnerships this year. So I think my media pass is pretty limited, which I'm fine with. Like, other people need the pit. I don't need that. I just got a super long lens, but I don't know what you guys' experiences are, because you're with people who are going to be way more involved with the actual shooting of events and stuff like that. But I believe it is much more strict this year.
I agree. I think it is. It's getting more strict, which it makes sense because 2019.
Which is good, yeah. Dude,
kinda,
and even last year.
So,
Carly, you wanna hit everybody with something else before we cut it?
Me?
I was actually just gonna like go along with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
Please do.
I was just gonna say, what I heard about this year is that basically who you signed up for, like who you put that you're shooting on the application, is gonna be like your access into the Coliseum, I guess. So like I reached out to like one of the head media people, and I was like, hey, I just want to ensure that I'll get access for Tia and Brooke's event. and like the proven squad, and they're like, yep, if you listed the athletes that you're needing to shoot, then you will be allowed in for that. Like, absolutely. But like, they prioritize the people that are going to be like on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
That's smart.
Do they do
I
the
feel
switch
like
out
that's how
thing?
it should be.
Which I was like, no worries. I don't need to be there for Heat 1. Like,
Yeah.
give me Heat.
That's so helpful.
You know, like,
Yeah,
that makes sense because last year, for example,
okay, I didn't mean it like that.
I know.
No, but it's. I think that was a really good point, because I think that's like super helpful in terms of like we've all been there the last few years, and it's been really, really frustrating. I'm sure. For me, I wasn't doing anything for like Carly and Eric, like both Erics, all four of you. I can't speak on your behalf, obviously, but like there's so many people, and like this is my actual job. Move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that will help with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise,
Any of
you
the
just make it
Erics?
work.
Anything else to add before we go?
I'm good, I think.
All right. Well, I appreciate all of you guys for doing this, and of course, Fury and Sroka were here too. I'm excited to see all of you guys, and like anybody that's listening, just if you want to ask questions to anybody, I'm sure everybody that's here, they are super happy to answer any of your questions. So reach out to them via Instagram. Is probably gonna be the easiest way. We have @CarlyCreative, @EmonPhoto, @Eric_Castaños, and @Steven X Stover, as you see on the screen. But yep, they're definitely.
And Bone Media.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm gonna, if somebody calls me Bone Media at the games, I'm gonna be mad. No, just kidding. I don't care. But yeah, remember, it's bound. If you want to tell me something, just say bound.
I was gonna ask you that. Someone told me that it was Bone. I was like, no, there's no way. And then I was too afraid to ask.
This is the way I see
it. I've known you for too long.
How do you say DOWN? It's down.
Down,
right?
yeah.
How do you say BROWN? Brown. Just take the R out. It's just, instead of brown, it's bound. But,
I was right. I'm happy about that.
Easy. Okay. All right, everybody that's listening, make sure you hit the like thing, or the bell, and the subscribe, and all. You know how it works. You've watched YouTube videos before, so make sure you do it.
It helps the algo.
It helps the algo, yeah. And if you have any ideas for the games, like if you have any episodes that you're like, hey, you should do, I don't know, touch on any topic and people I should invite, I'm sure that we can make it happen. So thanks everybody that's listening, and thank all of you guys for joining us. Peace out.